From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting, originating from the County Administrative Center located at 1115 Truxtun Avenue, Bakersfield, California. Kern County's vision is to create and maintain a customer-centered county government designed to garner the confidence, support, and trust of the people we serve. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Good morning. Welcome to the morning session of the regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors. Today is Tuesday, July 23rd. Board to reconvene. The first item is roll call.
Supervisor Gleason. Supervisor Scribner.
Here.
Supervisor Maggard.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here.
The next item is the salute to the flag. It'll be led this morning by Supervisor Maggard, and he has a comment just before we do that.
Thank you. As we follow the flag salute this morning, we'll have a moment of silence. And as we have that moment of silence, I'd like you to remember Mark Evans, who was an employee of ours in the Public Works Department. He served as an engineering manager there for 32 years. He was a friend to many and a great guy, and he passed away over the weekend. So please remember Mark this morning. Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And thank you, Supervisor Maggard, for making those comments about Mark. The next item is an item we have never had before on our agenda. First time ever, and I'm happy to do it. I'm going to invite Nick Cullen, who's our Director of Animal Services, to come out, and we are showcasing a Pet of the Week and encouraging you to adopt Riley, and Nick is going to tell you a little bit about Riley.
Good morning. My name is Nick Cullen. I am your department head for County Animal Services. Supervisor Couch, members of the board, I'd like to introduce you to Riley. Riley is, he's a long-haired terrier mix. He's somewhere between a half and a year old. He's still a pup, so anybody interested in adopting, realize that it comes along with all of the puppy behavior. He sheds, I will tell you that. I'm wearing half of his fur right now. Riley came to us after he was found by a Good Samaritan in the Oildale area on Friday, July 19th, just this past Friday. He's a high-energy pup. He's good with people, good with other dogs. He's going to do really good in a home that's active, one that can match his level of puppy energy. There is such a thing as puppy energy. He's going to need plenty of love and attention, and we are absolutely certain that he will return the same. Riley is the first ever, that I'm aware of, Board of Supervisors Pet of the Week, and he will be available for adoption tomorrow morning, Wednesday, July 24th, at the Kern County Animal Shelter located at 3951 Fruitvale Avenue. We'll be open tomorrow for adoptions from 2 p.m. until 7 p.m., and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Please come out and see Riley or some of Kern's other four-legged potential family members. Just like to thank the board for highlighting Riley and the other dogs we're going to bring forward.
I know that some of the county employees are already bidding on him, right? By the way, I can attest that he likes to lay on his back and have his belly rubbed. I was doing that just off the stage there. So thank you for doing that today.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So if you want to continue that tradition, we're going to try and do that every week. The chairman's, or this Board of Supervisors Pet of the Week. Next item is the consent agenda. All the items listed with a C or a CA above the item number are considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. We can act on those all in one motion. I'm going to tell you what those are in just a moment, but this is the time if you would like to make a comment about any of those items or ask for any of those items to be given separate consideration. Now's the time to request that. It would take a member of the board to actually remove that item from the agenda for separate consideration, but you can request that. The consent agenda starts on page 2. It consists of items 2 and then 7 through 11. Onto page 3, items 14 through 18. Page 4, all the items 20 through 26. Page 5, items 27 through 29. Is there anyone here that would like to make a comment on any of those items on the consent agenda or ask for separate consideration of them? Mr. Fox, you want to make a comment about 24, correct? Come on up.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. I'm Dennis Fox, and every month you do the continued resolution to all the dead trees, which are a fire hazard. I brought you some stuff from Northern California where they're really worried about it. What happens is now that the trees burn, they don't come back. What comes back is brush. And that is even worse. So what happens, why I'm here every month, is because the American way is, after 6 months, we forget about everything. And I think it'd be something that needs to be brought up and have attention. Here's something that your staffers might want to use, or you have some fire-wise meetings. And we do not have a active resource district in the county that's actively doing stuff for fire. That would be one thing, but I don't think culturally it's going to go. We're too big. And that's the main thing, if we can just keep after it. And I mentioned to your attorney, some of the counties up there in the north are banning the steel bullets. And the Forest Service is doing it also. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fox. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'm sorry, Supervisor Perez.
Thank you very much. I would like to take a moment, and thank you for your indulgence, Chairman, and ask Rick Judge, if you're present, to please stand. On proposal today is the reappointment of Rick Judge to the Planning Commission, and I'd like to share with you just a little bit of information about him. Rupinder, would you stand as well? His father, the patriarch. Rick Judge is a first-generation Indian American. He was born and raised in the Central Valley. Rick attended elementary school through college right here in Kern County. After pursuing a business degree at our very own Cal State Bakersfield, Rick went on to obtain his general contractor's license. He is the Chief Development Officer for the family-owned Countryside Corporation. They employ well over 400 people throughout Kern and Tulare counties, many of them in my district, many of them for many years. They've been in business for over 30 years, the entirety of my life, 30 years. Rick and his family believe in being of service to their community, contributing their time and resources to many local nonprofits and causes. Today, he is being recommended for reappointment to the Planning Commission for the County of Kern for a full term. Rick feels honored and privileged to have had the opportunity to be the first ever Sikh American to be appointed to the Kern County Planning Commission. Rick has enjoyed serving on the Planning Commission and appreciates the opportunity to continue his service for the County of Kern. With the knowledge he has gained in development over the last 20 years and with his vast business and development experience, Rick looks forward to helping the Planning Commission bring economically sustainable, impactful development opportunities for Kern County. I'd like to submit Rick Judge to the consideration of this board for reappointment to the Planning Commission, and thank you and your father for the employment of people in my district, my county, and our valley. So hats off to you, and I wish you the best of luck with my colleagues. Thank you for your indulgence, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you for being here today. I think I was about to return it to the board for questions, comments, action, and a motion on the consent calendar.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to pull item number 10 and for separate consideration, and then I'll make a motion on approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, 4 ayes, 1 absent. Supervisor Gleason.
That brings us back to the resolutions and proclamations portion of the meeting, which is on page 2, item 1. I'm going to exercise the chair's prerogative and take them out of order. I know we have some people here today that have other obligations and need to get going. So I'm going to take item 3 first. It is an item that proclaims August 2019 as Valley Fever Awareness Month in Kern County, and the proclamation and presentation will be made by Supervisor Scribner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion on proclamation.
Second.
The motion is approved, 4 ayes, 1 absent. Supervisor Gleason.
All right, good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. It's my honor to be before you today. Valley fever is a disease caused by a fungus that grows in the soil and dirt in some areas of California and the southwestern United States. People and animals can get sick when they breathe in dust that contains the valley fever fungus. This fungus usually infects the lungs and can cause respiratory symptoms including cough, fever, chest pain, and tiredness. According to the California Department of Public Health, for most people, the infection will go away on its own, but anyone who has these symptoms for more than a week should see a doctor or a healthcare provider. Here in Kern County, we are united to educate the public and healthcare providers about valley fever. It is our goal that through public education and promotion of early diagnosis, the number of individuals impacted by valley fever may be reduced. And so it's my honor, on behalf of the Kern County Board of Supervisors, to officially proclaim August 2019 as Valley Fever Awareness Month in Kern County. This recognition has been entered into our official minutes. It's signed by our Honorable Chairman, David Couch. I'm going to present this to Russell Judd, who we know is our CEO of Kern Medical, and I know that he'll have some comments. Russell, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Scrivener, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. As everyone in our area is aware, valley fever is a very significant disease. It affects and damages way too many people in our community. Kern Medical, approximately 2.5 years ago, started the Valley Fever Institute, an organization that is committed to 3 key elements. One is, if we can, find a way to prevent valley fever through research. Another is to educate the public and other healthcare providers on how valley fever is treated, and finally to treat patients. We're up and going. I thank you, Chairman Couch, for adjusting the schedule. We do have to get back to the hospital. Very proud to announce that today Valley Fever Institute will be receiving a $2 million funding in this latest state budget put forward by Assemblyman Rudy Salas in the Assembly and Shannon Grove in the Senate. So we're got to get over there to get a big check. So this is a great proclamation, but we like checks just as much. I do want to introduce Rob Purdy. Rob Purdy is a member of the Valley Fever Institute in many ways. Not only is he pretty much dedicated his life to now the focus and education and doing all we can to treat valley fever, but he's a patient of the Valley Fever Institute. And in his struggles and living very well with valley fever. So I'd like him to make a few comments. Rob.
Thank you, Russell. So I have addressed this board before as a patient and shared my experience with valley fever. So I was actually diagnosed at Kern Medical in 2012 and have been a valley fever patient since 2012 at Kern Medical and the Valley Fever Institute. So I was really excited in May to join the team at the Valley Fever Institute and be able to spend all day, every day, working towards the goals of the Valley Fever Institute, which are also my goals. I can't say enough about how exciting I am to be able to work side by side with the doctors who actually saved my life and to help them continue the good work that they're doing. This Valley Fever Awareness Proclamation is very personal to me, as it is to other members in this community and in this room and in this building. Here this morning, as I was walking in, I was speaking to one of the staff here, and he had valley fever, and we got to share our experiences. And that's one of the things that's a priority at the Valley Fever Institute, not just the clinical side of treatment, which we are very good at, but also patient care, patient interaction. We've started support groups for survivors to get their non-medical questions, just to share things about experiences with lip balm or sunscreen, or I have this pain, is that normal? So we get to put a personal face to this disease and interact with the community members that are impacted and their families. So we'd like to thank you for this proclamation. We'd also like to invite you to August 10th is the 8th annual Valley Fever Awareness Walk held at the Kern County Museum. We would appreciate your participation, your attendance, and also your assistance in sharing the information with your constituents, which has been actually emailed to your staff so that you have the English and Spanish versions available to share with the constituents and across your social media. Thank you again.
Let's get a picture. And Rob, thank you for your courage and your advocacy, and Russ for all the great work that's done at Kern Medical.
Thank you, Russell. Go get the money. Thank you, Mr. Purdy, for being here. Brings us back to item 1, which is a resolution honoring Mark Sabin, Director of Agriculture and Measurement Standards, upon his retirement with 27 years of dedicated service to the County of Kern, and it'll be presented by Supervisor Maggard.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, 4 ayes, 1 absent. Supervisor Gleason.
Colleagues, it is my pleasure to stand before us this morning to honor and commend Mark Sabin upon his retirement with 27 years of dedicated service to Kern County and the residents of our fine community. And he is joined by some family. I'll have him introduce them in a moment. We're also joined by Glenn Fankhauser, who is our director of our Kern County Department of Agriculture and Measurement Standards. There is some good news and some bad news. Good news for Mr. Sabin that he's retiring. The bad news is I am not going to give you a $2 million check. So sorry, that's just not in the cards this morning. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about Mark's time with us and his extraordinary career, and to just tell you a couple things I bet you had no idea about he and his life and the way he served us and what he's gone through to do that. So let me read a little bit about what the proclamation says. The proclamation says, whereas Mark Sabin began his career with Kern County Department of Agriculture and Measurement Standards on August 8, 1992, as an agricultural biologist trainee. He was eventually appointed as GIS Programmer Analyst on June 9, 2007. And during the initial years of his career, he worked as a field biologist conducting food inspections and certifying commodities for export. However, soon after his employment with the department, Mr. Sabin took it upon himself to initiate the use of a brand new concept at the time called the Geographic Information Systems, or GIS, by purchasing an out-of-the-box program and transforming it into what is now known as one of the most robust and innovative agricultural mapping programs in the state. Due to his transformative work, Mark Sabin was promoted to GIS Programmer Analyst for the department. He independently and single-handedly developed software to analyze every crop site in the county for the inclusion on the department's pesticide use permits, created internal GIS tools for biologists, and more recently developed a rapid response map for emergency responders. If you have time to talk about that, I think everybody would be fascinated at the way your program has allowed us to keep people safe and know what happens in different plots of land around the county. Mark Sabin is widely considered a pioneer in agricultural GIS, and for this, he has been presented a Special Achievement Award for significant contributions to the agriculture, given jointly by the California Department of Food and Agriculture, the Department of Pesticide Regulation, and the California Agricultural Commissioners and Sealers Association. If my voice breaks up and I can't do this, you're gonna have to read the rest of this, okay? I'm not crying. I don't know why you got me so emotional here. It must be the $2 million, or lack thereof. He is a frequent speaker at local, regional, and statewide conferences. He has brought considerable attention to the department and the county's ability to not only regulate agriculture, but protect workers, crops, and the public as well. That's the part of this I did not know until a few years ago when we had a scare. And his skills were vital to managing that. His expertise in GIS, along with his dedication and hard work, has put the Kern County Department of Agriculture and Measurement Standards on the map for its cutting edge and technology that has yet to be matched. He has led the department into GIS greatness and has raised the bar of excellence with his relentless determination and forward thinking. And Mark Sabin has achieved all of this while overcoming catastrophic medical issues, including 3 heart transplants. He has demonstrated strength and dedication by always pushing through those difficult times and always performing at an admirable level. Mark Sabin's dedication to his profession and commitment to serving the public has earned him the respect and admiration of his peers and colleagues, and certainly this Board of Supervisors. His many contributions to the Department of Agricultural and Measurement Standards will be greatly missed, and he is wished the very best in his future endeavors. Now, therefore, it is resolved that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Kern, State of California, does hereby honor and commend Mark Sabin upon his retirement with 27 years of dedicated service to Kern County. We salute you and give you our respect and admiration, and I suspect in your family you are a great example as well. So we are very, very grateful for what you've done for us. Glenn, would you like to say something first?
Mr. Chairman, it can't be overstated how important Mark Sabin has been to Kern County and to the agricultural industry of California as a whole. There are still counties in the state that hand draw pesticide maps and are nowhere near where we were when he began the GIS programs that he did. We're a flagship county for that reason. We have several innovative things that he has single-handedly been in charge of. The notification system, grower-to-grower notification, he invented that. He invented the Kern Red, which provides the emergency responders with immediate information in the field. And, you know, he's also an important leader in our department for the, you know, he's a confidant. He's important to be there for morale. This is a huge loss, personally, as well as for my department. And I just want to thank Mark for his service.
So on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, please accept this proclamation. I hope you can put it somewhere in the house, in the back of the closet, or someplace where you can remember it from time to time.
Oh, no, right up front.
Well, good. And we would love to hear a couple words from you after
Sure.
when you're able. Thank you.
Well, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to follow Pet of the Week, but I'll try. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my wife, son, and co-workers who are here today, thank you very much. This was a bit of a surprise to me to retire when I did. And at the end of a long work life, a person looks back and thinks either I had a career or I had a job. And I've been very, very fortunate to have a career with Kern County. All the way from the board and their support, all the way down to the directors I've had through the years. They've always given me what I needed, the tools I needed to accomplish great things. One of the best things I think we did was to take that digital map that all the biologists create and port that out to emergency responders with ways to mitigate any kind of exposure, and that was a big change for us. Before that, someone had to come down to our office and log onto a computer and look and try to figure out who was growing where and start making phone calls. Now, that password-protected website has not only the crops, but cell phone numbers of the ranch managers and people who are directly responsible, which means that as hazmat and environmental health and other people are on their way to a rural emergency, they can log on to the computer and they can see in minutes and make phone calls. And that's been a big, big step for us. But I didn't do all this alone. And I know you hear all the time that it's a team that accomplishes things in life. And this really was a team effort with cooperation and with a bit of humor on the side as we developed this software. And it was tested. It wasn't just me who tested it, it was just about half our department. And I'll always be thankful for the career I had here in Kern County. It's been my home for a number of years, and I regret leaving now, but I look back and realize that I, along with other biologists, did affect change here, protect workers, permit sites, protect schools, protect the public, and that's all been done with my code, but through extensive testing by the rest of our department. So thank you very much.
Would you like to pose for a picture here?
Yeah,
With your family, B?
you bet.
Why don't you stand in the middle? Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Take good care.
Thank you, Mr. Saban. Thank you for your family also for being here today.
Thank you.
You bet. Next comes item 4 and 5. They'll be presented by Supervisor Perez. Item 4 is a proclamation proclaiming August 2019 as Child Support Awareness Month in Kern County, and 5 is a proclamation proclaiming July 21 through 27 as Probation Services Week in Kern County. Supervisor Perez.
Thank you, Chairman. Motion on items 4 and 5.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. 4 ayes, 1 absent. Supervisor Gleason.
Good morning, Chairman Couch and fellow supervisors. As you know, August was first proclaimed National Child Support Awareness Month in 1995. It provides an opportunity to recognize the importance of child support and the positive impacts of the stability, happiness, and security of our children. Today, we commend the child support professionals who help families participate in the child support program. Our very own Kern County Child Support Services team delivers outstanding services every day to ensure that children receive the financial resources necessary for their well-being. Last year, Child Support Services collected and distributed more than $82 million in payments to more than 50,000 children and families who participate. Our department also hosts the Ready, Set, Back to School Health and Wellness Fair each August, and I know firsthand what an amazing event this is. Impressive demonstration of the community coming together to create a better start of the school year for the children of Kern County. Chairman and members of the board, I join you today as we proclaim August 2019 as Child Support Awareness Month in Kern County, and we recognize the families that participate in the program and our County Child Support Services Department for all they do to ensure that our beloved Kern County children grow and thrive. Elizabeth. Board of Supervisors, County of Kern, you've done this before. Officially proclaims Child Support Awareness Month. Thank you for being the leader that you are and for moving us the way that you have. I think it's special, and it's important to recognize the work of you and your team, and that's what we do today. So thank you. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Perez, Chairman, and board members. We're really excited to be here today to just give you a little bit of an update of what we'll be doing in August. But first, I wanted to ask my staff, some of them are here, if they can please stand, because they are the people that make everything happen. I have an amazing team. It's just a small group. It's just a small group of my staff, but I'm very grateful to them, because without them, we wouldn't be able to achieve what we have done this last year and what we're going to be doing this year and in the future with our new hires that we're bringing on. So we're really excited about that. Our signature event is the Ready Set Back to School event that we have. And our next event will be in Ridgecrest on August 1st. This will be our 6th year participating and hosting this event, but I think this event will be even more special since the earthquake happened. Families are probably doing other things with their funds and not really concentrating so much on the back to school stuff. So we're really excited to be able to hand out backpacks at this event and bring other community partners in. Last year we gave away 700 backpacks, and we're expecting to give away more than that this year. So we're still taking donations if anybody would like to donate to that cause. In Bakersfield, we'll be hosting our event on August the 8th. This is our 10th year. We're very excited about that. 10 years of passing out backpacks here at this event and bringing community partners in to provide services to our families, because our goal really is to reduce barriers for families. And by having this event, we're able to bring the children and the families of our community to one place to receive services and find out about some of the other items that are out there for them that they may not be aware of. In the last 10 years, our event has, and our staff who do the majority of the fundraising internally for the backpacks, we have given away approximately 26,297 backpacks in the 10 years we've been doing this event. So I'm very excited and proud of them. I also want to thank our lead sponsors for Ready Set Back to School here in Bakersfield. We have the Kern County Bar Association, Kern Schools, 23ABC, and the Kern County Fair. And we partner with the community to provide free haircuts, immunizations, entertainment, and multitude of community resource information, in addition to giving away backpacks with school supplies each year. We would like to, I asked 3 partners to come with us today, just so they could explain to you why it's important for them to participate in this event, because not everyone has to do it, right? And they take joy in doing this, and they're our partners every single year. So our first partner is Kern Schools, who is our lead sponsor. They do a backpack drive for us every year at their store, at their branches, and also a donation drive. And we have Tasha Pequeño here, Via Bella Salon, who provides haircuts. And if you think about that, they're taking time out of their day to come and provide free haircuts to children. And if you think of a haircut, most haircuts cost $15 or $20. So if you have a child, or you have 2 children or 3 children, that's one less expense the family has to incur to be able to prepare their children for school. So we're really proud of that partnership and very grateful. Stay Focused Ministries, Pastor Manuel Carrizales is here, and they have been our partners for over 8 years in this process. And for the kids, it's an amazing time because they bring a lot of fun activities for them and giveaways to keep them entertained. So they each have just a little brief comment to make.
Ma'am?
Good morning, board. Yeah, I think that, the partnership is so valuable because, they have a really a need, but also they get a moment of peace, dealing with the things they deal with. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, "Suffer not the children to come into me," which Jesus said. And there's a lot of suffering out there. See, a lot of violence and around these different homes that are, poverty and also need. But that day we're able to fill that need with a message of hope and through all the fun to encourage them. And I think with all the things that are happening across our city, this is a day of fun, able to come out and really celebrate going back to school, to enlarge our territory and really challenge them to think big and believe big. The partnership of Children's Support Service has been very valuable. And the reason why is because I think with everything that's we see today in our city, basically this weekend there was 3 homicides. This morning there was another shooting. So we see that a lot. So a lot of these kids live in fear, but they're able to come out and really see the activity of the team effort. And I just want to say thank you for really, supporting them and also encouraging them by continue to think big and also believing big. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Vanessa Cadillo, and I'm from Via Bella Salon. When I first was asked to participate in the Ready, Set, Back to School, I did it because I believe if you're in the position to give back to the community, you should, and we have been blessed with all these talents, so why not spread them? When I actually got to the event, my mind changed on why I was doing it. My goal as a mother, as a parent, is to raise really self-confident kids. In the world we live in today, the things they have to go through, it's nuts what these kids have to deal with. So as I started talking to these little girls, we were in charge of the girls' haircuts. How their hair came in, these are things they should know, basic things they should know, and you can tell that they didn't have confidence. So every child I began to, you are so smart, I'd ask them about school. Wow, that's awesome. All right, you look beautiful, have a great day. And their immediate shift in their attitude when they left just our little haircut area, it was really nice. It was really life-changing because I think if we can spark that momentum and get their confidence going, they'll be great. If they feel good about themselves, they'll do more than all right. And that's why I do it.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Hi, good morning, board. Thank you for having me. My name is Tasha Pequeño, and I'm representing Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. I'm actually just down the street there on Chester. I manage that branch. And Kern Schools has been participating in this program for several years, and we look forward to continuing to participate. All 10 of our branch locations collected donations, monetary and backpack and supplies. We collected over 400 backpacks and $2,100 in donations this time. And I'm happy to say that probably about 75% of that actually came from our team members instead of our members. And so that just goes to show you how important it is to our team members, to our employees, and we look forward to continuing this partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here, for your work, and especially to those of you in the audience and Child Support Services for your work. Thanks for being here today. Supervisor.
T.R. Miracle, anybody else with you this morning? In a moment. Okay, got it. Chairman Couch and colleagues, it is an honor to stand before you today as we proclaim July 21st through July 27th, 2019 as Probation Services Week in Kern County. This is an annual recognition celebrated nationwide with the goal of raising awareness about the outstanding work that community corrections professionals do every day. Last year, our county probation officers and juvenile corrections officers completed nearly 4,200 Superior Court pre-sentence reports, processed over 40,000 misdemeanor in-court reports, and supervised over 7,200 felony probationers county-wide. These brave men and women work tirelessly every day on the front line with probationers holding them accountable for the crimes in which they have committed, as well as implementing vital services to reduce recidivism rates and give these individuals the opportunity to turn their lives around. Probation officers play a very pivotal role in the justice system, serving as problem solvers, crime prevention specialists, mentors, educators, and oftentimes counselors to the many individuals who society has frankly given up on. This week and throughout the year, may we honor our outstanding probation department and the work they do to be forces of positive change in our community. It is a privilege, TR, to recognize you in particular because of the kind of leader that you have been. I know firsthand that you have single-handedly improved and really prospered Kern's probation department practices all around the state of California. I wouldn't say that if I didn't mean it. You know it's true. You came in the right person at the right time. And I'm grateful for your leadership. TR, I think your heart is in the right place. You hold your people accountable, but you are open to opportunity and to changes that are necessary. to improve this community and maximize public safety. So it is an honor to present this to you today. I do believe in you as a leader, and I think what you're doing is special and it really matters. So hats off to you and your many, many team members who make it possible. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Supervisor Perez, Chairman Couch, members of the board. I just want to say thank you for this recognition and for your continued support of the probation department. I'd also like to thank the CAO's office. The last couple of years have been very challenging. However, we worked closely with Mr. Alsop and our budget analyst, Mr. Curry, to try to navigate these difficult times to attempt to help secure a more financially stable future. As chief, I really appreciate this opportunity to recognize and highlight the staff of the probation department. It's really important to me because a lot of people don't fully understand what probation does or who we are. The fact is that probation plays a vital role in the adult and juvenile criminal justice system. Our staff, which include probation officers, juvenile corrections officers, program specialists, and support staff, perform many and varied duties touching almost all criminal justice cases. For example, the Superior Court refers every adult felony case and every juvenile case to the probation department for sentencing reports. Our investigation officers write these reports that include case info, criminal history, legal analysis, and recommendations so the court can make an appropriate decision. They also appear in court next to the district attorneys and public defenders for those sentencing hearings. We have other officers who are responsible for supervising offenders in the community for felony offenses and juveniles. We have juvenile correctional officers who help operate our 3 in-custody facilities. They work with the highest risk youth in the county, who often have very serious offenses. They deal with mental health, substance abuse, neglect, and anger issues, yet they're able to create a safe and secure environment and provide services to put them on the right path. Probation's mission is to make a safer community here in Kern County, and we do this by focusing on our dual roles of accountability and opportunity. We must hold offenders accountable for their actions. Unfortunately, we know that not all people will take advantage of their grants of probation. That's why the probation department is proactive in our community presence, so we can respond quickly when offenders are not towing the line. We have over 170 armed officers who go out in the field every single day, often in dangerous and unpredictable environments, to ensure compliance. As you can imagine, some of our clientele is not happy to see us if they have not stopped their criminal ways. But we are there to make sure that they have, or to hold them accountable if they haven't. Some examples include, in May, we had officers from our mandatory supervision unit do a home call here in Bakersfield. They located over 4 pounds of methamphetamine and 1 pound of heroin, arresting the offender for drug sales and getting those dangerous drugs off our street. Just this month, members from our post-release community supervision unit did a home call in Taft. They seized 5 handguns and a short-barreled rifle and over 450 rounds of ammunition that were illegally possessed, along with a significant amount of methamphetamine. In spring of 2009, members from our gang unit did a home call and contacted a subject. This subject wasn't on status to us. However, it was learned that he was wanted for attempted murder for a shooting here in Bakersfield. He was arrested and booked and is currently awaiting trial. These are just a few examples of keeping Kern County safe through accountability. But equally as important as holding offenders accountable is our role in providing an opportunity for people to turn their lives around. Long-term public safety can be ensured when we break the cycle of recidivism. It only works if we focus on evidence-based practices in the field of community corrections. Over the last several years, we've greatly increased our capacity here with evidence-based assessments, case plans that address criminogenic needs, direct referral for services, and appropriate incentives and sanctions. We've also greatly increased our programming for adults and juveniles. This can be seen in our day reporting center, our adult program center, our juvenile programming unit, and increased services in our facilities and in the schools. A few years ago, the probation department in Kern County participated in the Pew MacArthur Results First initiative, which was a cost-benefit, cost analysis of our criminal justice system here in Kern County. We learned that every conviction on average costs Kern County $31,000 in direct and indirect costs. So by providing evidence-based approach and reducing recidivism, We save Kern County money, we have less victimization here, and we can heal broken people and help turn them into positive and productive members of our community. One such example is a 35-year-old male who is on mandatory supervision with a significant history of theft, drug possession, and drug sale charges. He was assessed and referred to our day reporting center. However, at first, he did not take advantage of this opportunity. He continued to test positive for substance abuse and put in little effort. He was held accountable, and after a jail consequence, he was re-referred to the program. By continuing to work with this individual, our probation officers and staff at the DRC made a breakthrough. He began to focus on his 8-year-old son. He started attending treatment sessions, participating in groups, and addressed his substance abuse issues. He graduated the DRC in June. He's currently employed and self-sufficient. He's been clean and sober for over 1 year. And his focus remains his son. He shares with us that he makes it a priority to attend every practice, tournament, and school event. This has changed the trajectory of this man and his family. And this is just one example about real lives that are positively affected by the men and women of the probation department. I'd like to take a second just to talk about collaboration. We know in the probation department that we can't do our job alone. We work with so many other agencies, including behavioral health, human services, superintendent of schools, ETR, community-based organizations, the sheriff's office, and local police departments, and many, many more. We just want to say thank you to all of our partners for their support and for their shared vision in working together to make Kern County a better place. Lastly, I just wanted to talk about, as we enter the 4th year of our county mitigation plan, I want to reflect on my staff's response to our fiscal crisis, in which we faced general fund reduction and significant retention issues, as many staff have left for state jobs that are more lucrative. My staff have been amazing partners with the county, taking many steps over the last several years. We've had to consolidate units and reorganize caseloads. Despite the increased workload, our staff has accomplished our mission. Our department has embraced Lean Six Sigma. We had our first Greenbelt complete a program on revamping our juvenile violation of probation process. That resulted in an annual soft savings of over $400,000 per year. We've recently trained our second Greenbelt, and she's going to lead a team in finding efficiencies in our adult sentencing process. We'll continue to update the board on our Lean Six Sigma progress. Our staff has also helped find additional funding. One of our most successful examples of this is receiving federal dollars for our targeted case management. Because we've invested in evidence-based programming, assessments, case plans, and referrals, we're able to maximize reimbursement with the increased Medi-Cal eligible population that lines up closely with our clientele. This has produced over $2 million annually coming into the department over the last several years. However, these requirements are not easy, causing additional work and documentation by staff. However, they stepped up to the plate when called upon. I just wanted to highlight my staff's positive and beneficial actions during this difficult and challenging time. They've sacrificed and worked harder because they're dedicated to making Kern County a better place. I started by saying not many people know what probation does in the criminal justice system. I hope by what I've shared, there's a little better insight into the important role that probation plays in accountability and opportunity. Stories like this are just the tip of the iceberg of what the men and women of probation department do every single day. It's a true honor to be the chief of such incredible staff who do meaningful and vital jobs for our community. I want to say thank you again to the board for this recognition of the probation department and all of its staff. Thank you very much. If we could please have all of our staff stand and be recognized, I'd really appreciate that. Go ahead and stand up. Thank you.
I didn't know there were that many here. Thank you guys for being here. You keep a low profile, but you guys do really, really good work.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Chief. I'm going to read the next item as Supervisor Perez is coming up because I'm going to present the next item. It's a proclamation proclaiming July 27 and 28 as Philippine Weekend in Kern County, and I will make that proclamation.
Motion on proclamation?
Thank you.
Second.
The motion is approved, 3 ayes, 2 absent, Supervisor Gleason, Supervisor Perez.
I'm going to let Jay make some introductions, but by the way, this is the ubiquitous Jay Tamsey. I think there are 5 of you, one in each quadrant of the county, and then there's the one in Metro Bakersfield, because everywhere I go, he's there. He does a great job representing the Kern County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. That's very involved in Delano, or the Philippine Weekend in Delano this weekend. And if you haven't been, it's a lot of fun, and I strongly encourage you to do it. I'm going to read the proclamation presented to Jay and let him make his introductions and tell us what's in store this weekend in Delano at Philippine Weekend. The Board of Supervisors, County of Kern, State of California, has officially proclaimed July 27th through 28th, 2019 as Philippine Weekend in Kern County, and this recognition has been entered into the official board minutes, signed by yours truly. It's dated today, July 23rd, 2019. Jay, thank you for all the work you do, but I know this is a big project of yours and a big passion of yours, and I look forward to seeing you there.
All right, thank you so much, Chairman of the Board and Board of Supervisors. We're excited to receive this proclamation on behalf of the Board of Supervisors. I'd like to introduce Nika Cabello, who is here with me. She is one of our executive board of directors, and also Nicole Villaruz, who is a longtime committee member and also an advocate for our Philippine Weekend. So I'd just like to let everybody know, as Supervisor Chairman of the Board Couch mentioned, that a Philippine Weekend will be celebrating our 45th anniversary this year in Delano, and we will be honoring for our Mabuhay Spirit Award, Chio and Butter Gonzalez, and a Mabuhay Spirit Award is an award that we provide folks in the community that do not necessarily have to be Filipino, but that support our Filipino community and advocate for us as well. And then as well as we're going to honor our Grand Marshals, the San Juan family, who is a 3-generation family who will be leading our parade on Saturday. So we have lots of in store for everybody. And I'd just like to also acknowledge all of our volunteers, all of our sponsors. This is one organization and festival that we do not charge to get into. It's held at Cecil Avenue Park in Delano. I know that it's very important to my family. It's important to the family, to the Cabello family and the Villaruz family who stand behind me. During our grammar school years to our college years, we worked super hard as volunteers to make this happen each and every year for our community of Kern County. This festival means a lot, as I mentioned. This is something that we look forward to, and it helped us grow and make us the leaders that we are today in this community. I also wanted to make sure that folks know the impact that it has on our county. So we have 10,000 plus visitors from all over the state of California and the nation that come down to play in our statewide basketball tournament and also to our Tenno Festival, which all of the hotels that are normally booked here in Kern County, which brings economic development here and into Kern County. So with that being said, I just want to invite everybody to our Filipino Festival, our 45th anniversary. We made it. Lots of times folks are saying, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And with our generous sponsors, our generous leaders, our folks as the Board of Supervisors and the City Council of Delano, we will stand and we hope to see you for the 46th anniversary. So thank you so much, and I appreciate this certificate.
If I could say something for a moment while you guys are taking your picture, not to interrupt you, but Nicole Villaruz, who's down here, is my chief of staff. And lots of people always assume that you are Latina, which I think is a normal assumption, but the truth is that you're very proudly Filipina. And you have done so much to bring to my world and my understanding such a beautiful culture and people that I frankly didn't know much about. And I appreciate that. And that's how right? We build community and unity is by sharing sharing our stories with each other, recognizing the beauty and uniqueness of each other's worlds, whatever that may be. And so hats off to you, Nicole. You've been a proud member of your community and a great supporter of Kern County in all of its complex entirety. So really, hats off to you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. That takes us to item 10. Item 10 was on the consent calendar as an item to appoint Brandon Martin as an at-large alternate member to the Assessment Appeals Board. Supervisor Scrivener, you pulled that for separate consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did. First, I'd like to say that I have a deep level of respect for all the members of this board. I've always supported the appointments that members of the board have put forward, but I do believe that the folks that we appoint reflect on this board. And I've seen evidence of behavior, specifically statements made in the public sphere on social media and elsewhere that I'm unable to ignore. Personal attacks on elected officials that are not policy-based, but more personal, calling into question the character and intelligence. Also some comments in regard to one of our government affairs consultants that we deal with on a regular basis that I felt was highly inappropriate. And so respectfully, I feel that we need to foster an environment of civility and respectfulness here. And so I'm not going to be able to support this appointment because I don't feel it's in the county's best interest. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Scrivener. I can appreciate your sentiments. I don't share them. I'm not familiar with the comments that you're referring to. So, I'll make a motion to approve the appointment, or make a motion on the appointment. Oh, do we need to allow for public comment on this? I guess. So is there anyone here that'd like to make a? Oh, I didn't see you there, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. I guess I'm here to defend myself. I wasn't expecting to have to do that. I'd certainly, if you want to go through my Facebook page or social media and go item by item, I think sometimes things can be taken out of context. And I write a weekly newsletter that's very popular. It's thousands of people open it. But I imagine there is something I could have said that could have offended somebody. Certainly, I think that's a possibility with Supervisor Scrivener. But the reality is I don't think any of those offensive phrases that I may have said cast doubt upon my fairness to serve on the Assessment Appeals Board. I mean, can anybody think of a single example of something that goes to my fundamental fairness as somebody who would evaluate a claim in terms of appraisal? And that's what I would ask you and urge you, just because many of us are friends and we work together, to consider me in that light. And also, it would be more fair if I could respond to any particular comments that were made, just so I can clarify. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments this morning on this item? Seeing none, I'll return it to the board. I'll make a motion on the appointment. But without a second, it doesn't go forward. Is that correct? And it looks like we're not getting a second. Thank you for coming. I didn't see you there, Brandon. I'm sorry to, I guess I just walked right by you, so can I go? Didn't see you there. Thank you. That takes us to item 12, which is under public presentations. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the board on any matter not on the agenda, but is under the jurisdiction of the board. Is there anyone here that would like to make a public presentation? Yes, sir. Please step to the microphone, state your name, and proceed.
Hello, my name is Timothy Blakely. I'm from the small town of Rosemond. There's been a concern there recently that I'm hoping to get help from the supervisors in addressing. And it has to do with an emergency crossway other than Roseman Boulevard. Roseman Boulevard sometimes gets stopped by the train, and they're looking for emergency pathways. Mostly Avenue A is what's being looked at. There has been comment about a bridge, but that might be way out of the way. So we're looking at help from planning and maybe an engineer to come look at different ways we can cross the railroad. Sometimes the train is stopped there for really long extended periods of time. That's the main entrance to Edwards Air Force Base. We also get traffic of over 98,000 vehicles. That was done during a crosswalk survey. So it's a huge traffic problem, and it is a huge problem for anybody on the other side of the tracks. They basically get trapped on that side of the tracks until the train is gone. Emergency services need a way to cross. There is a dirt crossing at Avenue A that maybe we can look at and maybe pave, and rather than putting in some kind of bridge. We had a brainstorming meeting with Tom Lackey, who has done these projects before, and he said some kind of bridge is completely out of question. It's too hard to do, too expensive to do. But I don't think that paving a way through Avenue A or possibly up higher would be a problem if we can get it surveyed correctly, get an engineer out there, and get planning out there to see what kind of options we have. Like I said, it's our municipal advisory council has been working on this for some time, and it's got to the point where it's got to be pushed into somebody physically looking into it, like an engineer or something, to see if it's even feasible. And that's what I would like to ask from you guys. We're also trying to work with Edwards Air Force Base on figuring out something as well, because it has become a big concern for them. Half the people who go to the base take Roseman Boulevard and they can't get to the base. So the Air Force can't function. So we have emergency issues, we have military issues, and we have public safety issues and traffic issues right there on Roseman Boulevard. It is a huge problem. It looks worse than the 405 freeway during rush hour.
Mr. Blakely, the chairman had to step out for a moment, so he asked me to proceed with the meeting. So there's 2 minutes for each person to make comment, and you're about a minute over. So could you draw your comments to a close?
Okay, I'll close it. I've said what basically needs to be said.
Thank you, Mr. Blakely.
Mr. Vice Chairman?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Blakely, thank you for your comments. We are, when I say we, the folks in the Public Works Department, my office, we are continually looking at traffic issues, access. The base obviously is a huge economic generator for us, one of our largest employers. And so we, the issues you probably can imagine comes down to funding. But we do take all those concerns very seriously, and we continue to look at solutions. Mr. Pope, our Public Works Director, is not here this morning. Normally he is, and so I would have asked him to make some comments, but I would be more than happy to continue to discuss that with you, as well as any other folks from Roseman. We get correspondence in my office, and as you know, RMAC is a great venue and a vehicle for a lot of those concerns as well. So thank you for being here.
Good morning, ma'am. Could you please give us your name and proceed? You have 2 minutes to make your comments.
My name is Lisa Checkley. I am a director of RMAC, but the reason I'm here today is for a personal matter, a public personal matter. On July 13th, one of the local pot shops that's illegal had a patient appreciation day. I knew about a month and a half prior to them doing this that was going to happen. I reached out to everyone asking for it to be closed down. Unfortunately, it was not. I have video, I have pictures. We're talking about a pot shop that sits next to a church, 1 block up and 1 block down from the school. They had over 200 people pass through there that day, and they're taking dabs of concentrate and then driving home. I have video, I have pictures, I brought it all. I talked again to the sheriff and our local sheriff, and he says it's your problem. You guys say it's their problem. Someone has to fix it. Someone has to fix it. You guys asked them to close. I am telling you, no money is not an excuse. No manpower, from what the sheriff's telling me, it's not an excuse. You guys made a rule, they need to follow it. Plain and simple. So I'm asking for you guys to please make them follow the rules. Please do something. My community is begging for them to close. We all know I'm a medical marijuana smoker, but I'm willing and begging for them to close because of my position as an elected official. So please do something with the community, the cops, someone, just, they need to close. And that Patient Appreciation Day, I'm very devastated that no one did anything. And when I say I send it to everyone, I send it to everyone, from your office all the way to Donnie's office. It got sent everywhere. So hopefully next time, it'll get shut down in time.
Ms. Chuckley, what's the name of the shop, please?
AOC.
AOC, okay. Would you be able to share those videos with my office as well as the Sheriff's Department?
I sure can.
Thank you, and I appreciate and share your frustration.
Okay.
And we're going to do everything that we possibly can to rectify that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Jeckley, thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, back to you.
Thank you for doing that. Any other public statements by anyone? Sorry, I had to take a phone call momentarily. Okay, that brings us to item 13, which is board member announcements and reports. Anybody? Seeing none, we'll go to item 19, which is under the CIO's office. It's a proposed replacement of the public safety countywide communication system and the funding alternatives for the project. Mr. Hill, I also understand we have some representatives from the city of Bakersfield here, but I'm going to allow you to introduce them.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good morning. To start us off, Mr. Hill from General Services CAO's office and Ms. Martinez from CAO's office will handle this item.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman Couch, members of the board. The purpose today is to seek your board's approval in pursuing the next steps in the replacement of the public safety countywide communication system, which includes the release of a request for a proposal and securing the appropriate financing through the county administrative office. By way of background, the county depends heavily upon its communication system for various law enforcement, fire suppression, and general operations. Every public safety organization in the county is affected by and has a stake in that system. In addition to public safety, other county departments, city, state, and federal agencies utilize the two-way radios as a secure interjurisdictional mode of communication. The current communication system is nearly 20 years old. Many components of the communication system are in need of replacement or are going out of service life soon. These include existing base stations, radio dispatch console systems, existing microwave network equipment, and approximately 6,000 user radios. In September 2016, your board approved a consulting agreement with Federal Engineering Incorporated to provide a full assessment of the county communication system, and that assessment addressed the current system and made recommendations to implement a cost-effective, highly reliable digital public safety system that meets the current and emerging needs for the next 15 to 20 years. All key users of the communication system have thoroughly reviewed and concur with the key recommendations in the assessment report. And Federal Engineering provided 3 alternatives for a new communication system that will provide the county and city with a replacement digital radio system, including infrastructure, equipment, and software that complies with the latest applicable standards. And it will support interoperability with all local, state, and federal agencies when assisting with regional catastrophic events. And this would provide both the county and the city of Bakersfield with a core system that will be linked in order to provide redundancy between the agencies to reduce the risk of system-wide outages. After careful evaluation of the alternatives, stakeholders selected the alternative that will provide an integrated public safety wireless communication system that would be fault-tolerant and contain no single point of failure that would disrupt communications. We'll also provide mobile and portable on-street radio coverage throughout the county. Federal Engineering prepared conservative budget cost estimates for all requirements to support the new system, and these estimates incorporate data from previous assessment activities in this project, historical data from their experience designing the radio systems comparable to the county's systems, and publicly available industry information. The preliminary estimate for the complete system is $76.8 million, with the county's estimated share of $60,500,000. It is estimated the project implementation will take approximately 3 years from release of RFP, with the first year having an increased effort for site readiness and installation of hardware with approximately $30 million in cost. And I'll transfer this to Elsa for her comments on the financing.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. The staff report presents several funding options, including financing the project with a direct loan using existing cash and utilizing tobacco endowment funds. Staff believes that financing the system with a combination of direct lending using a portion of the infrastructure reserve, which currently has a balance of $7.9 million, and tobacco endowment funds is the best option. These financing options limit the burden on current taxpayers to the benefit of future generations. It allows for financing over the useful life of the equipment, which is at least 15 years, and allows the staff to include future maintenance and ongoing support costs. Your board authorization today will allow our office to engage the financial advisor for the county to finalize the financing plan once the proposals are received from vendors. Your board's approval does not bind the county to incur any debt. Our office will return to your board with final financing options. Today's recommendation is for your board to authorize our office just to finalize the financing proposal. We have several representatives from the city of Bakersfield that would like to address your board at this point.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good morning, Chairman Couch, members of the board. My name is John Frando. I'm a deputy fire chief for the Bakersfield Fire Department. Over the past 2 years, members from Bakersfield's Technology Services Department, Bakersfield Police Department, Bakersfield Fire Department, and the city manager's office, as well as members from Kern County, have been collaborating, evaluating, and taking the necessary steps to implement a regional radio system. The current radio system, as was mentioned before, is decades old. It's antiquated, it's unsupported. In fact, both the city and county are currently purchasing parts from third-party online auction sites to keep the current system up and running. The city recognizes the need to improve the current radio system to a digital system, something to improve building penetration for firefighters, to improve area coverage, as well as to improve the reliability. These improvements will enhance emergency response, not only on day-to-day, but in the event of a disaster like we've seen in Ridgecrest recently. It's critical to ensure the safety of not only first responders, but also for the residents that we serve. The city is prepared to move forward with its portion of the radio system upgrade, and it is our hope that you will support the county's portion as well. We feel that together, these efforts will not only improve the efficiency, reliability, and effectiveness, but also we can together improve the cost-sharing portion of it as well. So with that, I'd like to turn the mic over to Bakersfield Police Department.
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Morning.
Members of the board. Thank you for your time today. I'll be brief. Mr. Chief Frando really did a good job summarizing our comments. But for us, from our perspective, this is really a threat to public safety and to the community, not just from a criminal, crime perspective, but also, from natural disasters and from a variety of things. We've had incidents like Jawbone. We've had the recent earthquakes where the police department and sheriff's department don't have the ability to communicate. That creates a huge hazard for law enforcement and for our community. Just to summarize my comments, this system, we have one of the oldest systems. We have deputies, we have police officers in different parts of the city and county who do not have the ability to communicate. Our communication center can't hear them. They're not able to transmit. We've had recent incidents with deputies being stabbed and with a lack of response. It's really a threat to our public safety and something we urge you guys to vote upon and approve today. So thank you for your time. I don't want to be redundant with my comments, but we really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Could you provide us your name for the record?
Yeah, Assistant Chief Evan Demestahas.
Thank you. Thank you both for being here today. Mr. Hill?
So in conclusion, the criticality of the communication system compels the county to move forward with these next steps towards the system replacement. A combined redundant system between the county and city will ultimately be a savings to the taxpayer by not having to duplicate efforts and equipment between agencies. The RFP will be completed and distributed in August, subject to your board's approval today. Therefore, it is recommended that your board approve the proposed replacement of the public safety countywide communication system and release of the RFP, discuss the funding alternatives, and authorize the county administrative office to finalize a plan of financing after proposals are received from prospective vendors. That's the end of our prepared comments.
Okay, I'll open. Is there anyone here that would like to make a comment on this item? Please state your names and proceed. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Steve Shoemaker, Deputy Chief, Acting Fire Chief right now for Dave Witt. I'm going to have our ECC Chief talk a little bit about this program.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the time. Brandon Smith, Battalion Chief with Kern County Fire. I think Chief Rando kind of reiterated the concerns that we have, and I think throughout the county, and this system will help with a lot of the jurisdictional boundaries that we run across within this county, whether it's another fire agency or even law enforcement. And that critical communication is important to have an effective response in major disasters. So we do hope and encourage the board to support this plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for being here today. Anyone else? Seeing no further staff comments, no other public comments, or return it to the board for questions, comments, or action. The motion, or the recommended action is to approve.
Motion on staff's recommendation.
We have a motion.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Oh, Supervisor Maggard.
I apologize, I pushed the wrong button. I have a couple questions about financing. The recommendation is that we would use a combination of, this is on what, page 5 of 6 of the staff report, a combination of the use of reserves and the Tobacco Endowment Fund. So what are you anticipating would be the use of how much from each one, and how much of those would come from reserves, particularly is what I'm looking for.
Supervisor Maggard, through the chair, one of the, as noted in the staff report, the communication system presents some challenges on financing because it includes a smaller equipment that have low costs that are not financeable through tax exempted or tobacco. So our understanding is right now we currently have $7.9 million in the infrastructure replacement reserve. We anticipate that we will use that amount to cover the costs that cannot be financed. And then we'll use a combination of the tobacco and the direct lending financing from banks for the equipment portion. There's currently $30 million in the tobacco endowment. Depending on how the proposals come back and what the cost breakdown between the equipment, the installation, construction is, that will determine what amount we use for each one of the categories.
So did you say about 7.9 million with reserves?
We currently have a balance of 7.9 million in infrastructure replacement, yes.
So would those reserves come from general fund resources?
Correct. The infrastructure replacement, as I explained to your board last week, was set up from the one-time sales tax that we received from the wind energy industry, the additional income. So half of that increase was set in that infrastructure replacement, as the county was aware that we have several projects that needed to be financed in the future.
Thank you. I support exploring the option of what our alternatives are, but I have a concern about the source of the money. While it's the case that the communication system is certainly part of our public safety infrastructure, I think personnel that serve us in public safety are a greater component of public safety in our community, and I think that has to have the top priority. So for me, I'm struggling with approving this because it introduces the prospect of using general fund dollars before we have laid out how we're going to solve our the issues we have with insufficient number of deputies on the street. So I'm not going to support this, the use of anything that will lead towards the use of these general fund dollars until we've laid out what our plan is for that. So that's how I'm feeling about it. If others want to present other ideas, I'm all ears. But I think that is of such importance that it overrides this, the immediacy of this concern.
Supervisor Mager, if I may, the funds that we plan to use for the replacement of this system is one-time money that will be used for one-time purposes. What we hope to bring to your board in the future is maybe something that provides with ongoing resources, like staffing. We usually seek to make recommendations to your board of any increase in cost for staff with ongoing resources. The funds that we have in the reserves are one-time that we normally recommend for one-time expenditures, because once they're used, they're not available for future.
Yes, I recognize that one-time sources of funding are used for one-time expenses, but it is possible that some components of our strategy that could help us shore up the exodus of deputies from our community could also use one-time sources. So I don't know if it will or not, but that is what my concern is, and that your capable explanation does not assuage my concern. Thank you.
Supervisor Scrivener.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Supervisor Maggard, I absolutely share your concern and the difficult position that we're in addressing what I believe is a glaring public safety issue in regards to this communication system, but also another glaring issue that we have when it comes to retention and our staffing levels in the Sheriff's Department and all throughout the county family, frankly. But I think it is very acute when it comes to the Sheriff's Department. So what I'd like to do is ask Mr. Alsop, staff is requesting that we move forward and develop a plan that you are going to come back with us once we go out and I think receive some bids on this. So can you walk us through your thought process as far as balancing the needs of this communication system with what we're trying to achieve in regards to our staffing in the Sheriff's Department? And I think Ms. Martinez did a fine job, but I'd like to hear from you since you are our top administrator when it comes to county financing.
Thank you, Supervisor Scrivener, through the chair. To just keep this simple, we're asking your board to authorize us to proceed with an RFP. Financing will come later. We'll make decisions on that at a later time. There'll be no expenditure of money. This simply puts a proposal on the street, and this allows companies, I believe some are in the audience today, to submit proposals for this work. Your board, at that point, once we get those proposals and provide recommendations, will make decisions on spending. That's months away. On the public safety side, addressing retention and recruitment efforts, the budget recommendation that we'll be providing to your board as early as next week on Monday, we believe provides a substantial contribution to deal with retention and recruitment efforts at the Sheriff's Department, both with ongoing revenues and one-time money. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alsop. And I'd also like to recognize that this board, trying to remember exactly when we started doing this, I want to say around 2012, we put aside 50% of those wind revenues, and they were significant, they were substantial. There was a tremendous amount of development that was occurring in my district in Eastern Kern when it comes to wind energy. But I think that the staff's recommendation and the foresight of this board has put us in a position where we have accumulated this fund, which is going to help us. And so I just think it's another demonstration of how the County of Kern, we don't spend all of our revenues like other government agencies, and I would point to Sacramento and Washington as an example. I mean, we've always have an eye on the future. We always try to plan. I know it's frustrating to a lot of our employees when they look at reserves that the board has in place, where they see other needs, but that's why we do it. We do it so we can put ourselves in the best position to deal with investments requirements for investments that we know are coming down the pipe. So I think that should be acknowledged. Appreciate it. I'll second the motion because I do think it's appropriate for us to go out and put an RFP on the street so we can start to figure out how much this is actually going to cost and how best to piece together a financing plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. I'm going to support the motion as well because it doesn't commit any funds, and frankly, the comments that you heard today might cause vendors to sharpen their pencils a little bit. Could you give us just one last question? When do you think the RFP will be out, and when is it expected? When are you expected to come back to us with the results?
Chairman Couch, the RFP will be ready for release in mid-August, and we expect to have proposals back and a recommendation to your board before the end of the year.
Okay, thank you. You had a motion and a second. I don't see any other lights on, so please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, 3 ayes, 1 no, Supervisor Maggard, and 1 absent, Supervisor Gleason.
Thank you. That takes us to the end of the morning agenda. We just need a motion to adjourn to closed session.
So moved.
Thank you. Without objection, we're adjourned.